Hey everyone, and welcome to today's review. We're going to look at a game called Roadside Research, which is Xbox Game Pass's newest day one release. This is part of a series where you look at Game Pass, all the day one releases throughout the year, and see if it's worth the €360 that they are currently charging for a full year of Ultimate. This game did move the needle in a more positive direction for me. I had a really fun time playing this, especially because I played it with my friends, and I feel like that is important for this style of game. And speaking on that, this game got quite a bit of hate because it's falling into the multiplayer slop genre, as people are starting to call it, where games are essentially just designed to be stupid fun that you play for about 5 or 10 hours with your friends. I don't have an issue with that, personally, in my opinion. I had a good time playing games like Schedule 1. If they are just aimed at friends and having a stupid, dumb time, I don't see the issue with that. The game isn't trying to be the next Witcher. It's not trying to be some, like, game of the year, the next Expedition 33. That's not what it's trying to be. It's just trying to be a few hours of fun with your mates, and it's achieving that. So I have no issue with the multiplayer slop genre. I think it's ridiculous to go online and attack a game for just trying to be that, because I wouldn't get annoyed at a game for being a 2D platformer that is trying to be a 2D platformer. It's just stupid. Let the game try and be what it's trying to be. If it's actually hitting the needle, which this game is, then I see absolutely no issue with it. Now that I've put that argument to bed, let's jump into the actual review and start off with what's good about this game. So let's dive in with what was good about the game. On its own, just as a concept, it was really, really fun. I already like Supermarket Simulator. This took Supermarket Simulator, added some mini games, added a few extra tasks, and then added spying on humans into it as well. And I just think it was an absolute blast. Like, me and the lads laughed out loud multiple times playing this game. That's pretty rare for me. I wouldn't be the type of person that would generally laugh out loud while playing games. Of course, some of that was us being funny. Some of it was the game being funny. But I feel like if you have a group of mates that you get on well with, you're going to have an absolute blast playing this game. It really was great crack. What I also liked, and I'm going to be comparing it to Supermarket Simulator quite a bit because they are similar games, it had way more decorations. Some of the decorations were stupid, like one of them was a pug that just heavily breathed in your ear the entire time it was near you. It was really fucking annoying. Really hilarious at points too, but also really annoying because we were like moving the pug around the house, or I should say around the petrol station, to like annoy who was ever on the till, or just put him somewhere near someone else where they wouldn't find him, so you could just hear him doing these weird little heavy breathing sounds into your ear. It was really annoying, but again, quite funny. And I feel like that's what the game's about. It's about being kind of creative, but also having a laugh. Like, where was the core gameplay absolutely amazing? Not really, but I don't think that's the aspect of the game. Like, the core gameplay in Supermarket Simulator wasn't good fun, but I probably played 15 to 20 hours of it and did have quite a blast playing it. Some of the criticisms I actually have of Supermarket Simulator are similar to this game and will be brought up later in the video. But overall, the mini games are fun. All the individual tasks were genuinely quite enjoyable. And I think that's what you want for this game. If you were at the cash register, it was fun. If you were fueling the cars, it was relatively fun. If you were cleaning, it felt relatively satisfying. And I think that's just really important for this style of game. And again, it's a really cheap, good time. That's what this game's trying to be, and that's what it will be if you go and play this with your mates. That kind of wraps up what's good about it. It's just a laugh. It's simple fun, and I think there's something great to be said about that in the modern state of gaming. Alright, next let's dive in with the bad. The bad represents for me what won't change in the future of this game, even if it has another 3 years of development. I think it's important to state that before I describe what I think is bad. So let's start off with the longevity isn't there. There's just no way you could play 40 hours of this game. I think 10 hours is a push of this game. I think if you got to 10 hours with the current content that's in the game, you'd be done. Like, we were getting to 4 or 5 hours and we were going, I don't know how many more we have in us. I'd say we have another 3 hours in us, I'd say, me and my mates. And it got especially bad when one of my mates went off. So there was 3 of us playing it. One of them had to go off. He has work in the morning. And we stayed on playing. The tasks got really, really tedious because there's so many tasks. Like, you're shitting on the floor. For people who don't know, when you shit on the floor, it's called goop. And you need to clean the goop up because otherwise people become suspicious because there's alien shit on the floor. But there's also like marks all over the place you have to clean. You have to restock shelves. You're at the cash register. You're cleaning the toilets. You're picking up trash. There's just so much shit going on. Once you got down to 2 players, the game actually felt a little bit unmanageable, to be honest with you. Was it still manageable? Yes, but like, it went from a game where we were running around with our trumpets making farting noise at each other and having a laugh.
Oh my god, he's shitting everywhere.
He shit himself. To a game where we actually have to take it quite seriously, and I don't think that's where this game's strong suit is being taken seriously. So when the game pushes you to take it seriously, it wasn't very fun at that point. So for me, I really wouldn't play this game with any more or any less than 3 players, which is a weird thing to say for a game. And that ties into my final bad point, is you really need friends to experience the full breadth of this game, to have the laugh. Like, if I was playing this game by myself, none of the funny stuff would have been that funny. Would I have gotten a laugh out of the pug? Maybe for like a few minutes, but it was only funny because I was annoying my friends with the pug. Would the trumpet that makes fart noises and really annoying noises be funny? Not if I couldn't annoy my friends with it. So the game needs friends, and that is just something I do not see changing in the future. Like, Supermarket Simulator also required friends in my opinion, but maybe on a scale of like 1 to 10 it required friends like 5 out of 10. This requires friends 10 out of 10. You need the friends to experience this game. It's really, really fundamental, and I do think that is a bad thing. Finally, we will dive in with the ugly before we round off this review and give you my conclusion. And finally, we have the ugly, which represents what I believe will change in the future throughout development. For starters, there's currently no AI in the game to help you, or at least none that me and my friends noticed while playing. There was no cashier, there was no stocker, there was no cleaner, and this game really needs a bit of AI to help you out. Yes, there are like automated trash cans and stuff, but you need more than that. I also feel like it could add an extra element to the game where like you're hiring humans to like be a cashier or help out with the petrol, and the humans are like part of a cult maybe that's like up for aliens taking over the planet, or maybe you're trying to hide from your own employees as well that you're also scanning humans. There's just a lot of ways this could add to the gameplay, and I don't think I would have released this game without it, to be honest with you, and I'll explain more on why I'm saying that right now. The game was also pretty buggy. Like, my friends kept getting stuck, and there is an unstuck option, but when they clicked it, they didn't get unstuck, so it was quite annoying. It's not something I'm going to like treat as a total negative, because I do believe that's the type of thing that will be fixed in like a week or 2 weeks. So I definitely would not let it put you off buying this game. If you've like seen the gameplay here, or you've seen gameplay on Steam, if you've watched other reviews, don't let it being a smidge buggy knock you off playing this game. That is the type of thing that will be fixed pretty soon, but it's still important to note, if you're going to release for money, you've got to speak about the negatives. Finally, or not finally, I should say, there's 2 more points actually. One, the lack of different AI characters, I really wasn't happy with. I hate when games just grab a character, put a different haircut on them, or just change the color of their haircut and just reuse that as another character. Like, there was only like 4 or 5 actual characters in this game, it felt. I was just seeing the same people over and over, and when you're running a sort of shop or a store, that just it just ruins the immersion. I know this game is stupid, silly fun, but it couldn't have been that hard to make 10 or 20 models, you know, just to add a bit more variety to what was coming in and out of the store. It was a bit dumb, and maybe it was part of the gimmick where they all had like green and purple and pink hair, and yeah, it was a little funny, but it wore off pretty quickly, and I just feel like they could have had a few more characters. And now finally we get into my final point. The lack of progression in this game was pretty bad. Yes, there's all these research trees and you can buy more things for the shop, but it didn't feel meaningful, to be honest. I feel like the game would be better off if you started in the petrol station and maybe you made a lab in the garage area, and then you maybe played for like 5 hours there, and then you move to another space. I try and think of a game like Game Dev Tycoon, which is quite a niche game to pick, but you know, you start out in your garage and then you move up into an office and you move into bigger offices, and over time, as you develop more games in Game Dev Tycoon, you become a bigger game studio. In this case, I think this game really needs to be more than just being running a petrol station, because the game was like 70% running a petrol station, 20 to 30% like probing humans. I would actually say like 10% probing humans and 20% fucking around doing bullshit. And that's fine, like that's what the game's trying to be. But like, why I spoke earlier about Supermarket Simulator, like there are better games. If you're just looking to run a petrol station or run a shop, there are just way better games on Steam. If you're looking to like play the alien aspects of this game, then I would recommend picking this game up. If you're just looking to like run a shopping simulator is way more fine-tuned, way more refined. Will this game get there? Maybe in the future, but right now I do just think this game needs quite a bit of work. If you have Game Pass and you have like 3 friends to play with, I would download this game tomorrow. You're gonna get a whole evening of fun out of it, maybe even 2 evenings of fun out of it. If you're a bit tight on cash and you're like, right, I have the choice between this game and another game to play with my friends, I'd go with the other game, because this game really doesn't have any more than 5 to 10 hours of fun in it, and it does need a bit more time in the oven for me. I'm not saying it's not a fun time. I think it's a great addition to Game Pass. I wish Game Pass added more games like this that are just fun with friends. Like, so many of my friends have Game Pass, and it's just like, these are the games that get me on Game Pass and get me to play 5 to 10 hours of a game. But at the same time, this game definitely needs more time in the oven. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like, subscribe, mainly comment out of all 3 things, because I love reading the comments. I love reading different people's opinions, and that's my favorite bit of doing YouTube, even as a small YouTuber. It's just reading people's comments. But look, I really appreciate everyone. Please share as well if you can. Best luck to everyone. Hope you had a good day. Hope this review was helpful. If not, let me know, and good luck.